Danny Gagnon is a wine educator and author with 40 years of international experience. Through Vin and Wine, he has guided more than 22,000 participants with a clear, health-informed approach that makes wine culture, including the zero alcohol options, accessible, evidence-aware, and joyful. He does all kinds of other things as well, but I'm mentioning the parts of his work that are most relevant to tonight. His work focuses on transparency, terroir, practical tools that help people make confident and thoughtful choices in their beverages. And this is really an important aspect of the evening. So, Daniel.
Thank you for coming, first of all, in such a big numbers. It's nice to see that wines have like a lot of interest, and indeed, as soon as we have wines involved, that like all ears, people are starting to be, appreciative. So tonight, the way I organized a little bit, a part of it, obviously with Rhoda, but some other parts were like the wine tasting, for example. I did two tests, and I will need your participation to see if that was successful or not. So the first test was to be saying, okay, I'm going to drink a little bit of wine, but I'm just going to prepare my palate. I'm just going to be able to saturate a little bit my palate, and then I would take a second sip, see if there were some kind of changes and some improvement to the wine, and then maybe for a third one. I would like to know, can you lift your hands, those who are participated to this test, just lift your hands. Okay, not that many. Okay, I would like to ask you, those who have lifted your hands, tell me if you did prefer the subsequent, meaning the sip number 2 and or the sip number 3. Lift your hand, please. Okay, that's amazing. So that's everybody who have take the test were able to prefer wine the sip number 2 and the sip number 3. And that's the test I've been with 22,000 people, once again, and it's always been the case. It's always the second or the third, never the first one. And the reason being is because the first one is only to prepare your taste buds to be able to afterwards open some taste buds, which those will allow you to truly taste the complexity or the flavoring of the wines. And the reason being is because the first taste buds is only going about acidity, astringence, which means the dryness in your mouth, and the third is going to be the sweetness. Once those are saturated, this is where you allow yourself to be able to truly enjoy the wines. Now, what's interesting is as a sommelier, I've often been pouring or serving wine in restaurant, and what I see often is we be simply pouring the wine. People are going to take it, so quick smell, and then they will have a sip, and will say, yeah, that's good. Well, someone have lied, that's for sure, okay? No, it's impossible from the first, even me, I can't do it from the first sip. It's an impossibility. So this is an habit that people have taken, which is a bit unfortunate because obviously you have no idea what it tastes. Not only that, is very often when you're going to taste it that way, is you have purchased the wine too often accompanied, and hence the food you're going to pair it with. So how, as a sommelier, basically, I can't ask that question to know how was your wine even before you have finished your first sip in context. The first glass in context. You can't do that. You have to wait. So that's the reason why it's no point to write to just a little bit. So I will tell you a technique, which means next time you'll be able to see if there's more logic into it. Ideally, what you want to do is simply from a sniff of the wine to see if this is disagreeable. That's it. And that's so true that when we, for example, when you have you open your fridge, there's a bottle of wine, not a bottle of wine, but a bottle of milk, and you don't remember how long is this milk went there for. So you're probably going to take it, open it, and you're going to do what afterwards? Sniff it. Nobody's going to just take it and then have a gulp, and then after that to see if it's good or not. So why is wine would be the only food product you would do that? You will have a sip to see if it's correct or not, or if you like it or not, before even using a sniff to find out if there's some kind of chemical into it, to find out if it's going to be a good wine or not. See, it doesn't make any sense. So the best way to be able to do it is like this. We pouring a little bit of the wine into your glass, and all you have to do is just a couple of turns. You take it, and you just smell it. And the only question to ask yourself is this: does it smell good? Does it smell bad? That's it. Now, it's quite interesting because I'm from Europe. So when I arrived here in North America, I noticed that most people, most of the wine poured into the restaurant, for 80% of them, the smell of it is very disagreeable. Either it smell of chemicals or it will smell of farm. If this farm is great, it's kind of like your very nature, and then that way you'll be able to appreciate it because the smell is going to dissipate as you go along, as from the pouring, or worst case scenario, we will offer to carafe the wine. But when it smells of chemicals, this is where the problem starts. Because a lot of wine, which is sold in North America, is going to have would be made with a lot of chemicals. And just joining what Dr. Pollock was saying, indeed, you will have a lot of health issues if you carry on drinking that sort of wine. And I can ask you the questions. I would like you to lift your hands, those who in the past, and still today, will have some kind of side effect. I'm talking about headaches, fatigue, redness after drinking wine. Can you lift your hand, please? Okay, you see, so many people, once again, they will have randomly, they will choose their wine, and they will have all those consequences to their health. Yet they carry on thinking this is normal. Well, I can tell you that it's not normal at all. It simply means that the wine that you have been pouring has too many chemicals for your body to be able to handle it. So there's ways to be able to find some wine which have the least chemical possible as it is produced. So in the wine world, there exist only two categories of wine. Only two. Very simple. It's very well known in France because we use that terminology. The terminology we find to define one of those two categories is called vin technologique, technological wines. If you go to Wikipedia, actually, in French, again, it doesn't translate that it is ready, and then enjoy. So thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. I will be also available if you have any kind of questions. And then thank you for coming, and thank you for Rhoda for organizing Dr. Pollock. Thank you.